we will get things started with Ethan Phillips stepping to the mound. Sam Slaughter will lead things off for the Bruins. Went 1 for 4 yesterday. You look at the stat sheet for everybody on both teams yesterday with 25 total runs. It seemed like almost everyone had an RBI who was in the starting lineup yesterday. And the first pitch comes right about 1:03 p.m. Fastball in the inside corner for strike one from Phillips. Phillips had a really successful freshman season last year. He got Big Ten Player of the Week at a point in April where he didn't start out getting a ton of playing time, getting a ton of innings, but he really worked his way to it. Slaughter hitting .308 on the season. Been awesome in the leadoff spot for the Bruins. The 1-1 popped up, shallow infield. Coming over is Pine. They had him shaded to the left, but Pine still comes over to make the play for out number one.
And that's what infielders are taught at a young age, to get to the ball and just track it. Look under it, and often with those high pop-ups in the infield, it's tough to gauge them, but sun in your eyes, Pine has no problem with it.
Here's a two-hitter, Jack Rando, senior from Brentwood, Tennessee. A lot of hometown kids on this Belmont team. One out, nobody on here at the top of the first. And the first pitch swinging, grounder right to Tyler Cerny. Picks it up, and it makes the easy play for out number two, an efficient first two outs for Phillips.
And this is key. If Phillips can retire Landers, who's taking the plate right now, that's just huge for his momentum. And don't be fooled. We could still be in for a game like yesterday, but Phillips is trying to prevent that early on.
How about the weekend Landers has had, though? Yesterday, he went 3 for 4. He had 3 RBIs. He had a couple home runs on Friday as well. He has been hot for this Belmont team. He's trying to keep the inning alive with 2 outs and nobody on the top of the first. Breaking ball catches a piece of the zone for strike one. Phillips is making a start after he saw some action yesterday, through 1 inning yesterday against Belmont. Fastball grounded to the left side again. That'll get past the glove of Cerny. And the first hit of the day for either team belongs to Mason Landers. And that is the first base runner that Phillips has given up. But Landers, like you said, the senior, has just done such a good job. And Cerny, so solid at the shortstop position. He's made some insane plays this year, but no chance on that one.
No, that ball was hit. I mean, that was a rocket. It's a worm burner, as they call it. That was a really, really good hit. Good job to get on the base first by Landers, and we'll see what Heaton can do.
Here's the big Brody Heaton, sitting at 6'5", 235. Also had a pretty successful week until yesterday. He went 0 for 4 with a couple of strikeouts, and he takes a fastball off the plate for ball one.
When you're facing Ty Bothwell, though, that's sometimes that's okay. If you struggle a little bit, that's a tough pitcher.
Comes back with a fastball on the outer part of the plate. Evens the count at 1-1. Heaton in his 5th season. He was a graduate from Newburgh, Indiana. Played at Castle High School, which is not terribly far from here. He was named a 2023 preseason All-Missouri Valley Conference player. The breaking ball runs outside again. After a very successful 2022 season. That was when Belmont made the switch from the Ohio Valley Conference to the Missouri Valley Conference. But he was named second-team All-Ohio Valley Conference in 22. Disappointed a little bit with some of his contact numbers last year. Phillips checks over to first on Landers. He's in there safely.
But hitting .267 last year is nothing to scoff at all. That's a solid clip.
And it's a lot about the power for him, too. He already has 6 homers on the season, 13 runs batted in. He's got a runner on first with 2 outs here on the top of the first. And Phillips throws over to first again. Started every game his freshman season. So he's already in his 5th season at Belmont, and that shows you how much playing time he's got. Phillips paying close attention to Landers, who does have a couple of stolen bases on the season. He's 2 for 2. Fastball hit to the left side again. This time off the chest of Cerny. Tries to pick it up in time, but Heaton beat it out. And that is another base runner on a grounder to the left side. Cerny just ate him up on a hop. And Belmont's in business. 2 runners on with 2 outs here in the top of the first.
And even though Cerny wasn't able to get that off the hop, that's really impressive footwork to stay with that ball, keep it in front of him, and still try to make the play over to first to get that 3rd out of the inning. He wasn't able to do it, but it was real close.
As of right now, it will go down as an error, according to the stat broadcast. First pitch, swing and a miss from the Belmont catcher, landed Ghazi.
I'm not sure I agree with that. That's a hard hit ball and tough to play.
Godzi, second on this Belmont team in home runs. He has 4 on the year, 10 runs batted in. Batting average has dipped down a little bit, below 230. But he was another Belmont Bruin who had 3 RBIs yesterday. Ethan Phillips steps off to take a time.
15 hits, 10 RBIs on the year for Godzi. I mean, this, again, a top-heavy lineup, as we said a little bit earlier.
Breaking ball, bottom part of the zone, actually doesn't catch it, so we will even things up at 1-1. Speed in scoring position now for Belmont with Landers at second. Heaton, it's not one of the faster guys on Belmont's team, but he can move. 1-1 breaking ball, foul back.
Good job, just stay alive, try to up Phillips' pitch count, get him uncomfortable. That's what you want to do early in a game against Indiana's Sunday starter.
I talked about the 267 batting average last season for Godzi. He was a JUCO transfer. Played at Volunteer State Community College before coming to Belmont. 23 extra base hits last year for Volunteer State. Breaking ball hit into left center. Taylor going all the way to his right. It's actually Matheson who can't make the play off his glove. They're going to send around Landers to score. Stop sign on at third for Heaton. And into second is Godzi. Another awkward play for Indiana's defense, and Belmont's got an early lead.
Well, we'll see if we get another look at it. I don't know if Taylor and Matheson communicated, because it looks like Taylor, with his speed, he would have been able to get to that quicker than Matheson would be. Matheson did get to it, so Matheson had to dive out and get it, but that's just one of those tough plays that got to have good communication out in the outfield.
The first 3 runs for Belmont on Friday were all unearned. Breaking ball outside now to start off Jones, and they will rule it a double.
I think that's yeah, double into the gap is definitely what that looked like to me.
But the run does still count as unearned because the Cerny error would have been the third out. Breaking ball, top half of the zone for strike 1 here to Max Jones. Didn't get the start yesterday, the senior from Pekin, Illinois, but he started Friday. Hitting .259 this season. 1 home run, 10 RBIs. Fastball grounded to the left side again. Cerny picks it up this time. Throw across his body. It'll make the easy throw to first for out number 3. So Belmont's able to scratch 1 across after an error from Cerny and a double from the catcher.
Well, if I recall correctly, I think that Oliver started the home opener against Miami of Ohio in February, but it's good to see him back in that second base slot. As you said, it's a little bit of a revolving door at the right side infield position there.
Breaking ball low to Nick Mitchell. Starts off 1-0. Comes back at the zone to make it 1-1. Rosiska, the sophomore from Webster Groves, Missouri, 6'3" right-hander, does not have strikeout stuff that's going to wow you. He's got a really good breaking ball, and you see it there. It lands high to Mitchell. But you know, to see a sophomore in the starting rotation, you had to get some kind of experience. Freshman year, he had 13 starts. Was a full part of the rotation for Belmont a year ago when he finds the bottom half of the zone for strike 2 to Mitchell.
You mentioned that breaking ball. He's got to test the waters with that early, and you leave it high against Mitchell. That you can get away with. The next couple of guys in this lineup, not so much.
The 2-2 fastball runs inside, so we've started full. Mitchell had been hitting .314 on the season, does have 1 home run, came a couple of weeks ago here at Bart Kaufman Field. And the payoff runs inside for ball 4 and a leadoff walk for Nick Mitchell, where he kind of started the season.
I think that's a spot where he's really comfortable because he can be a guy to spark the 3 and 4 guys. I think that's where he's most comfortable for sure.
Fastball runs outside. That's what you ask for a lot, is just contact.
Right.
Contact out of the 2-hitter. And that's what Pine brings. Power numbers the power is something he's worked on a lot in the offseason. He does have 1 home run already this year. He's going to square around a bunt and pull it back. It was in the zone anyway, so we're even at 2.
Like you said, the contact, and you give the contact guys those first batting slots. Obviously, Mitchell has the speed, and then you go into the power guys.
2-2, cut on and missed. Actually, that was a 2-1 count, so strike 2. Strikeout numbers in the last couple of weeks for Pine have gone up from what we usually see for him. He's going to ground one softly down to third base, picked up by Landers. Easy throw to first for out number 1. It was slow enough to where there was no play at second. Now Devin Taylor has the game-tying run here in the first inning at second base in scoring position. Didn't play yesterday, had somewhat of a day off. We had a frustrating day on Friday. Left a lot of runners on base and very uncharacteristic of the sophomore reigning Big Ten freshman of the year.
He's already seen that breaking ball.
It's another one, this time in the dirt. So we're even at 1-1. One found the zone, one didn't.
But it's so good, and it's got decent velocity to it, but it moves so much that it's just hard to pick up on out of the pitcher's hand.
Rosiska wasn't necessarily a huge recruit out of high school. That's impressive how much playing time he got freshman season. Check over on second was close. Mitchell was... his first step was the wrong way, and he was able to get back in time. So, Rosiska looks back at Taylor, but no, he was a number 12 right-handed pitcher out of the state of Missouri. Fastball cut on and missed by Taylor. Falls behind to the count.
That's a quick cut, too. I mean, he wanted every piece of that, couldn't catch any of it.
The plate discipline for Taylor is what's really kind of been a spark to how well he's played and how good he's been at the plate in the last couple of seasons. But I mean, you talk about anything that makes you a good hitter, and Devin Taylor at least has some of it, right?
Right.
2-2 count with a runner on second. Fouled back into the net, so we'll stay at 2-2.
Yeah, you talk about a complete player. You can look at Devin Taylor. I mean, he's smooth in the outfield. It's got a lot of speed and just a smart hitter, like you said. And he's got the power to back it up.
And talk about he's in somewhat of a slump right now, but he's still hitting 378 on the season. That shows you how hot he was to start. And now we got a full count as the breaking ball ran high.
This is a dangerous spot, I think, for Rosiska to be in these high counts early. Already thrown 17 pitches. It's not where you want to be in this bottom of the first here.
Breaking ball skied into foul territory. Giving a chase is Godzi, and he's got to have a chance. Right by the Indiana dugout, grabs it. A foul out for Devin Taylor, and that is a huge out for Rosiska.
Got to take the mask off and then get to the ball.
Breaking ball, first pitch up in the zone for strike 1 to Brock Tibbitts. Nick Mitchell at second. Tibbitts hitting 368 on the season. He and Devin Taylor are kind of battling for who's been the best at the plate to start the year. That's kind of what it was all year last year as well, as Tibbitts looks at one at eye level. He's got a couple of home runs on the year, had a great Baylor series. Seems like everyone had a great Baylor series. But
speaking of home runs, how about yesterday, huh?
Yeah. RBI leader on this team in 19. He had that 2-run home run to take the lead. They were down 10-9. A 2-run home run put them up 11-10 yesterday against these Bruins.
So some emphasis, too. 450 feet.
Yeah, right off the bat. Breaking ball hit hard into left field, sends Plessinger to the warning track, and it's off the wall. Nick Mitchell will come around to score, and it cuts it hit so hard off the wall. Brock Tibbitts has to stay at first. But Indiana has tied things up. Mitchell comes around to score on an RBI single off the wall from Brock Tibbitts.
That is one of the more unusual RBI singles you'll see. Off of the wall, and that was, I don't know, 3 or 4 feet from going over. That ball was hit hard.
It's so hard to be off the wall and the left field wall, too, because the wall is so short.
Right.
It's so much, not much room to hit. But Tibbitts stands at first base. And now the 5-hitter, the sophomore Tyler Cerny, comes to the plate. 1-1 tie. Cerny, don't forget about him at the start that he's had. He has 2 home runs as well, just not 2 RBIs behind Tibbitts for the team lead with 17. He's hitting 354. Breaking ball out of part of the zone for a strike. I talked to Mercer in the middle of the season. He said he thinks Cerny has improved more than anyone he's seen defensively from one season to another, and that is shown with some of the plays he's made at shortstop this season.
Well, the thing is, I mean, he was able to make that shift from say that 3 times fast. Shift from second to shortstop super, super easily, and replacing Philip Glasser, who got drafted after last year. Whoa, that one ran high.
Ran inside. I think they're going to say that hit his head.
I think it did. It almost came back off the backstop and hit him again.
That would, yeah.
No, that would have been something.
Fastball, first pitch high to Matheson. Now we've seen some weird things already in the first inning. We've seen a hit off of the left field wall
It ended up being a single.
That ended up being a single, and then a grazer off the shoulder now for Cerny. And brings up somebody who likes having runners in scoring position, runners on, and Carter Matheson.
And this high pitch count still in the first inning does not bode well for Rosiska going deep into this game.
Inning 278 with runners on this season. Fastball looks at it again. And top 3 of the Big Ten in home runs this season. There's a big tie logjam at third for home runs of the Big Ten. You look at Tony Santamaria, though, having an outstanding season for Rutgers. And the 3-1 pitch is high after Matheson showed bunt. He will walk on down to first base, a 2-out walk, and the bases are now loaded for Morgan Colopy.
I don't like, I would not like, if I were standing out there as Rosiska right now, I would be a little bit worried because Colopy, his bat has been toasty lately.
It's been really tough just with how much depth there is in the outfield for Indiana this season, as we're going to get a quick pitchers meeting on the mound visit.
And this is just to calm Rosiska down. There's nobody warming up in Belmont's bullpen on the first base side. And oftentimes in these early mound visits when a guy's struggling, a lot of times they won't even talk baseball. They'll talk something completely unrelated just to get the guy calmed back down. He's had a rough start to the day and just trying to get his nerves under control. That's a huge part of it, especially on the mound.
So what do you think they're talking about right now?
Right.
What do you think they're talking about right now?
Oh, what are they talking about? I have no idea. Maybe St. Patrick's Day plans.
I bet their St. Patrick's Day plans are to travel home after this game.
Right, yeah. Hopefully, if it's in their dugout, they want it to be a happy bus ride home. But, trying to spoil that.
Rosiska has given Belmont decent length in his first 4 starts. And the first pitch now to the graduate Morgan Colopy is in there for a strike 1, swung on and missed. Decent speed on the base paths for Indiana right now with Tibbitts at third, Cerny at second, Matheson at first, and Colopy's behind a fastball again.
So now down 0-2. Got to choke up a little bit here. Leaving runners on base has been a big problem thus far for Indiana.
And they'll do it here. It's tipped into the mitt of Godzi for strike 3. So Indiana is able to get on the board with an RBI single.
It's a big milestone for him, and he's been really instrumental in kind of turning this program around. They struggled before he came here, and now coming off their best season, over 40 wins, and it's it's tough to do, build the program up, but he's definitely done a good job of it.
He's got a couple of Big Ten Coach of the Year awards. The first couple of years were awesome when he came. He kind of had a little bit of a rough patch in the 19 and 2021 seasons, but look at last year, regional appearance, and they got a real chance to go back this season. Blessinger starts off with a 2-1 count to lead off this top of the second inning, and he's behind a fastball there to even it. Batting 7th in this Belmont lineup, only hitting 167 on the year. The bottom 3 of this Bruins lineup has struggled, all hitting below 200.
Yeah, and that high fastball of Phillips is really tough to lay off on.
Even 2-2 count, and that's going to run in and hit Blessinger on the hip. So a leadoff base runner for the Bruins. After Phillips hit Blessinger, we saw a hit by pitch on the other end of the first inning, and that runs in.
That barely got him too,
just above the waist.
Yep. That's a close call, and not a slow pitch either. So it's a tough call, but I think that did graze him.
Yeah, Mercer and Glant, the Indiana head and pitching coaches, really wanted to limit the free bases to the bottom of the lineup. That's something that Indiana had struggled with, or has struggled with to this point in the season. Here's Michael LaRue hitting 143 on the year. Does have a few RBIs, but got the golden sombrero yesterday. 4 strikeouts against Indiana's pitching staff. Go to first to check on Blessinger. He's in there safely.
4 left on base, too, when he was up to the plate. So tough day for him. He's going to look to turn it around, but Phillips not an easy guy to do it against.
1-0, beautiful breaking ball. Phillips found the bottom half of the zone for strike 1. Mentioned how we saw Phillips yesterday just for an inning, so interested to see how that kind of affects and impacts how many pitches he can throw today.
Well, he's kept the pitch count down thus far considerably more than Rosiska has, but up to 25 now in this game. I don't imagine they're going to run him more than 3 innings in this game.
Should be interesting to see. Sunday's always a kind of a puzzle, and just how you puzzle and a chess match, how you handle how many pitchers you can throw out there and who's pitched the first couple of games. And you got to worry about a midweek coming up in just 2 days usually, and throw over to first again.
They're really worried about LaRue over there.
Yeah, 4 stolen bases on the season. It's Blessinger at first.
Excuse
4
me.
stolen bases on the season for him, and he's one of the speedier guys on this Belmont team. They don't steal a whole lot of bases, though. Finally comes home with a 2-1 and finds the bottom part of the zone.
Tough to get the bat around on that pitch, which is why LaRue decided not to attempt it, but just painting the corners, what's that called?
I like the uniform matchup today. Indiana's in their flag uniforms. You can see with the stripes and stars in the numbers and lettering, and then Belmont just in their road blues, fouled off to the right side.
Belmont had some really nice uniforms yesterday in the baby blue color. I'm a big fan of that color scheme. Especially for baseball.
Yeah, they've had 3 different uniforms this weekend, with the light blue yesterday and the gray on Friday. Indiana showed off 2 different white uniforms on Friday and Saturday. Threw over to first again. And Belmont really is worried about Blessinger over there. Still nobody out in this top of the 2nd inning.
Got to come home at some point, though.
He's taking his time. We do have a visible pitch clock this season, and Blessinger does take off, but he'll have to go back. It was fouled off.
Tried to get the hit and run going, and infield in a double play position, but you foul that one off. It kind of tips your hand when you want to run the hit and run.
Cerny is standing almost completely behind second base right now in the shortstop position, with the second baseman Oliver all the way to the right.
He's ready to come in on this ball and get a running start.
This ball fouled off again, this time towards the Indiana dugout. Indiana new hats as well. They have those USA caps that are white with red brims.
They're sharp.
Yeah, we haven't seen those a ton this season.
Have we seen the America uniforms at all this year?
This year, no. I think we saw them twice last year. Phillips really concerned about Blessinger, but with the hit and run they just showed, it makes sense.
Still 2-2, though, to LaRue here, and struggled yesterday, as you said. 0 for 4.
Now he does take off. Swing and a miss. The throw on to second is in time to gun down Blessinger. The throw from the junior, Brock Tibbitts, strike him out, throw him out. 2 outs in the inning now for Indiana. How about the Hoosiers defense?
That is excellent defensive play, and Tibbitts immediately out of his catcher squad. That is a perfect throw, and Cerny with a clean tag to gun him down at second base. That is perfect defense.
Yeah, you're the pitcher. You're really going to like that. It helps your pitch count out a little bit. And now you're at the bottom of the lineup here. And Pete Daniel will take a pitch high for ball 1. Daniel also went 0 for 4 yesterday. He had 2 strikeouts himself. And that shows even with this Belmont team scoring 10 runs, they just didn't get much production out of the bottom of the lineup. Fastball fouled off to the right side by Daniel.
Daniel, interesting enough, you know, and he claims to be, from their notes, he claims to be the best ping pong player on the team. And I don't know how they decide that. Or maybe they have a intra-squad tournament before the season starts, which could definitely lead to some rivalries mid-season.
Well, it's an easy thing to decide. You just decide it on the table.
I
Indiana's
guess, yeah.
got a ping pong table in their clubhouse. Belmont might have the same. Breaking ball low to Daniel. Only his freshman season from Nashville, Tennessee. He's a 2-sport athlete in high school. Played both basketball and baseball.
Comes from a family of athletes as well. His brother plays baseball at Rhodes College, Division III school, and his mom played tennis at Charleston.
Athletic family. Does have one home run of the season. It came in the third game of his career against Eastern Michigan the first weekend. Slow grounder to the left side, going to be a tough play. Pine picks it up, throws across the diamond, and gets him out. It was all defense. Pretty windy day we have. Ben Haller alongside Andrew Hillsman with you. And it's the bottom of the lineup to lead things off for Indiana. It's the 8 spot. The 8-hitter Joey Brencheski will lead things off. 265 this season. 13 RBIs, though. He's been at the right place, right time, and he has just capitalized anytime there are runners on. Squares around a bunt on the first couple of pitches. One finds the zone, one doesn't, so we're even at 1-1.
You look at him, he's got an interesting frame for a first baseman. Stands 6'3" and only 175.
He skies one down the left field line. It's going to be in shallow outfield grass, and it's past the glove, lost by Daniel at short. And Brencheski will stay at first. An error on Belmont, and another Indiana leadoff base runner. Brencheski's on first.
And the sun is right where Daniel's looking, and I think he just lost it in the sun. That's a tough play to make, and not how you want to start your day. That would have been his first put out of the game, and that is got to get your confidence back after that one.
Will go down as a single in the book for now. Now here's a 9-hitter, Jason Oliver, slow ground to the left side, picked up by Landers. Throw across the diamond, and he's able to get Oliver. But Oliver advances Brencheski to second, so very similar to how we started this game with a runner on second and one out. Indiana's offense has been hot to start the year, and they have done it using the long ball. 24 home runs on the season. That leads the Big Ten, with other offensive juggernauts like Iowa, Illinois, Michigan behind them. And Nick Mitchell, top of the lineup, only has one this season, but he got off to a late start to the year with that hand injury in the first pitch. He's outside to him.
Transferring out of Western Illinois, he had a standout career there. Those first couple of years that he played for Western Illinois, he's really been a great piece bringing in as a transfer here at Indiana.
Fastball that's in the dirt with Philip Glasser, who is just that solid leadoff hitter. He'd been a leadoff hitter for so long for Indiana. You kind of had to look for someone else who would be that stereotypical leadoff hitter. Just get on base, ton of speed. And that's what Mitchell's done. He walked his first time up and then came around to score on the RBI single from Brock Tibbitts. This time he's got a runner in scoring position now with one out. Fastball runs inside. A 4-pitch walk to Nick Mitchell. We've seen Rosiska lose command a little bit in a couple of at-bats, and Indiana's got a couple of runners on with the 2-hitter Josh Pine coming to the plate.
Trying to look over, and like you see there, Belmont's really struggled with walks today or this season thus far, and I don't see anybody warming up in their bullpen, so they're going to trust Rosiska for now, but second time he let the leadoff batter on base, free pass.
Pine hits one out into center and sends LaRue back. Now up, he'll make the play. Mitchell thought about tagging from second. He'll stay there. Another big out for Rosiska. Now 2 down in this top or bottom of the second for the 3-hitter, Devin Taylor.
The improvement that Rosiska's made from the first inning to this inning is his pitch count. Not nearly as many as he threw. He got upwards of 30 pitches in that first inning. I think kept it below 10 thus far in this inning.
Taylor popped out in foul territory to the catcher his first time up. We'll see what he can do with a couple of runners on and 2 outs. First pitch outside. Godsey loses it a little bit, but he's able to stay in front of it to keep the runners at bay. Taylor with 14 RBIs on the season. Led the team in home runs a year ago.
As a freshman, that's an impressive feat.
Yep. Fastball outside again. It is indeed, and you mentioned the Belmont walks. 86 coming in today. They have 3 already today and a 1-hit batsman. 2-0, fastball outside, and Rosiska's in threat of another one. He has fallen down to the count 3-0. With Joey Brencheski at second, Nick Mitchell at first. 0 combined stolen bases between the two. Brencheski was caught stealing in one, his only attempt. It's another 4-pitch walk from Rosiska. Devin Taylor, his first time reaching today, the 4th walk of the game by Rosiska. And we once again have the bases juiced with 2 outs like we did last inning. Indiana wasn't able to capitalize when the bases were loaded. It was after that RBI single from Tibbitts.
It was Colopy who struck out when the bases were juiced, as you said. And I was going to mention it after you said about Belmont struggling with issuing free passes thus far this year. Against Indiana, they haven't really been punished in both of these games. The game that they lost yesterday was close for most of it until Indiana kind of just blew it up in the last couple of innings because Indiana leaves so many runners on. Yeah,
they did. I mean, that's going to happen when you score 15 runs, though. It's not something I think to be terribly concerned about.
Right, but you're not going to do that every time.
Fastball up in the zone to Tibbitts. They also had that inning yesterday where they walked in a couple of batters that just grew the Indiana lead. But here's Tibbitts, 4 combined RBIs over the last couple of days. Fouls one back into the backstop. Had an RBI single off the left field wall to score Mitchell. And now he's got Brancheski at third, Mitchell at second, and Taylor at first.
Got up to the plate 6 times yesterday.
He is the first Hoosier to be in the 20 mark for RBIs on the year. Breaking ball runs way inside here on Tibbitts. He's had just such a spectacular career in Indiana uniform. He's going to pop one into foul territory.
Junior after this year, he's eligible for the draft, and you got to imagine he's going to be a higher pick.
Yep, listed as a top 200 prospect in this MLB draft. That includes high school players and college players, all the same. And the count has run full on a fastball high. He's got 131 career RBIs on the season, just in his junior year. Runners take off, it's high, and it is a Indiana lead. Belmont walks in a run. Brock Tibbitts is able to work a bases-loaded walk to score Joey Brancheski. That'll go down as an RBI for Tibbitts, too, his 2nd of the day, and Indiana leads 2-1.
That is good play, just because you saw all the runners moving, and Tibbitts gets his free pass, and Cerny able to maybe put one in the short outfield. But as you mentioned a little bit earlier, Rosiska just struggling with his command. Tough to see for him.
Base on ball number 5 of the game already. He's just recorded 5 outs so far. First pitch high at eye level now to the sophomore Cerny. Comes back again. We got a 2-0 count. Was able to work a full count on Tibbitts, and now there's going to be a short mound meeting between Godzi and Rosiska to talk things over. Cerny got hit by a pitch his first time up that kept the inning going. That also came with 2 outs, but it only came with 1 runner on. He's got the bases loaded here.
Yep, and every runner that's on a base right now is reached by a free pass.
2-0, fastball finally finds the zone on the inside corner. That'll go for strike 1.
That's a really solid pitch. Good job by Rosiska. Trying to get some more momentum here if he
now Cerny crushes one into left. That sends Blessinger over, and it's off the wall again. Mitchell will come around to score. Taylor touches home. Stop sign for Tibbitts. And into second with a 2 RBI double is Tyler Cerny, and he gives Indiana sub-insurance.
Wow, I mean, off the wall again. That's the target spot for Indiana's hitter. That's Indiana's hitter thus far, and that is 2 RBIs. This is what I said in the open. Crucial for Indiana to get out to this early lead, because there's a chance that Belmont could come back hot with their bats, but if there's enough of a cushion, it might not end up mattering.
Can also change the approach of the Belmont bats. When they're down like that, they get a little more loose. First pitch now, check swing to Matheson. Still 2 runners in scoring position for Tibbitts and Cerny at second and third. RBIs, number 18 and 19 on the season for Cerny. So he's at the coattails of Tibbitts, trying to catch him right behind him. Tibbitts now has 21 after the 2 RBIs today.
He doesn't have the power that Tibbitts has, but he's able to place the ball well. That one almost got out. Yeah. And that left field wall, again, we mentioned, is real short.
Check swing inside, but they say it doesn't matter. Carter Matheson rung up on strikes, a backwards K for Rosiska. has just struggled to find the depth in their pitching staff, and they've got hit pretty hard at times too.
Yeah, like you said, Iowa, that is just a team everybody kind of put at the top of the Big Ten coming into the year. Their star pitcher, Brody Brecht, and the relievers, they've just been nowhere to be found for Iowa thus far. It's been a shock to me and I think a lot of other people.
Belmont will get the top of the lineup at Sam Slaughter. But, yeah, you're right. That one's hit hard off the ankle of Phillips, but right to Joey Brencheski, who steps on first.
Now, how does that go in the scorebook, Ben? I think it's 1-3.
That's a 1-3. The assist from Phillips.
Soccer-style putout. Kind of kick it over to the first baseman unintentionally, obviously, but let's see what happens here. Yeah, oh, wow.
Unintentionally? You don't think Phillips just purposefully kicked it on over to Brencheski?
It's a little more fun that way, but no, I don't think so.
Phillips might tell you he did, but I got lucky there. I thought they were going to check on him, and they'll give him a couple of warm-up pitches here.
Yeah,
just
that
make
was
sure
a
that
hard hit
ankle's
ball.
okay.
Yeah.
But nobody's coming out of the Indiana dugout, a trainer or anything. Threw one pitch. And he is A-OK. One out, nobody on. What a way to start the top of the third, and a 4-1 lead for Indiana here. Now it's a two-hitter, Jack Rando, who squares around a bunt to start things off. Pulled it back, and it's in there for a strike one. Grounded out to the shortstop his first time up. A nice play made by Cerny in that first inning.
Now, on that first pitch of the at-bat, the thing I noticed about Tibbitts, defensively, obviously, we all know that he's an excellent hitter, but he is such a good game manager behind the plate and frames the ball so smoothly. It's a joy to watch if you like defensive catchers.
He had that runner caught stealing, and
that too, right.
When you have a defensive catcher like that, he also would love to hear, well, he didn't catch the last couple of seasons for Indiana. That one's going to fall in for a base hit for Rando right in front of Devin Taylor. Just the third base hit of the day for Belmont. But, yeah, he was the first baseman last 2 years for Indiana. Natural catcher, catcher in high school, and he caught over the summer in the Cape Cod League.
Batting third baseman, number 29, Mason Lander.
But it's a dangerous Mason Lander stepping into the right-handed batter's box. One on, one out. Belmont trying to chip away at this lead. It's early. There is someone warming up in the Indiana bullpen. Nice ball in there for strike one. It's a lefty. I don't have the best eyesight, so I can't get the best
And I
look
forgot
on
my
it.
binoculars at home, so I wish I was able to help you, but I don't have the tools for that right now.
Lander just 1 for 1 today. He singled back in the first inning. And he's going to hit one into left field. Diving up and making the play is Devin Taylor. He catches it, loses it on the transfer, but another nice play made by the sophomore. It gets the second out of the inning and keeps Rando at first.
Wow, how about it? Devin Taylor is just sliding. It looks so smooth out there. Does Devin Taylor? I mean, look at this. Just tracks it down and doesn't face plant, and he gets right back up. And whew, that is a tough play to make. But props to Devin Taylor. That's his specialty, to make those
He
plays.
does it all. He had that nice play where he fell over the wall and robbed a home run against Illinois State on Wednesday.
That was unbelievable.
But, yeah, usually they tell you first step, go back. If you first step goes back there, he doesn't have time to come make the play. So a smart play by Taylor.
Heaton swinging out of his shoes there. I mean, that was almost, I don't know, good half a foot outside. Breaking ball just swept away from him.
Well, he's got a runner on first now with 2 outs in the inning. He's 0 for 1 today.
It's been some interesting plays thus far in this half inning.
Tell me about it. Fastball on the outside corner, but catches a piece for strike two. Somewhat of a larger zone, I would say, so far in the first few innings for Scott Wyckoff behind the plate today.
Often leads to not as much offense, but that's not the case today.
But he's chasing at an outside breaking ball. It gets away from Tibbitts, and he'll have to throw on down to first, but it records the third out. So Indiana's defense. First pitch now to Morgan Colopy to lead things off. Is at the bottom half of the zone for strike one. Colopy 0 for 1 today. He struck out with the bases loaded, left them loaded in that bottom of the first. And he starts down 0-2 here. A little frustrated with that last strike call, I think, but Talked about the large zone for Wyckoff.
Right.
Now fastball hit high into the air into right center. Slaughter goes over and makes the play in medium depth grass for out number 1.
That's a routine play. Can of corner is what they call it out there in right field for Slaughter, and that's a good start to the inning for Rosiska. Something I'm noticing, he's moving a lot quicker in this inning, and I think that's helping him. It's either helping him keep his pace or throwing Indiana's batters off.
He's thrown 62 pitches in 2 1/3 so far. And first pitch swing is Brzezinski. That'll help. Right at the second baseman, Rando, who flips on over to first. 2 very efficient first outs here in the bottom of the 3rd for Rosiska.
So I wonder if, in Belmont still, you look over to the right, there's still nobody. It's an empty bullpen out there.
Sometimes you just don't have as many options, and you just have to have a larger leash on guys on Sunday.
Yeah, exactly, on Sunday. I was about to say that. Got to save them for the midweek games, and Belmont has a tough gauntlet of games coming up. Their next 3 against, their next game is against number 9 Vanderbilt. So that'll be, got to have your best guys available for that one.
Fastball high out of Jason Oliver, and a single back in the 2nd inning. Check swing. I'm going to say doesn't matter. It was in the zone. Oliver, the freshman, you've had a really strange approach at second base this season. Indiana has. Sent a lot of pinch hitters in that 9 spot. The second base has occupied the 9 spot in every single game so far this year. And they've pinch hit for guys like Oliver and Burkell and Hayden Carlson. But that doesn't work if you don't have so many great defensive options at second base that Indiana has shown.
Right, and that's, like you said, the only way that, or the only reason they're able to do that is because they have that deep infield, that deep middle infield roster that they have.
Payoff, slow chopper to the left side. It's picked up by Landers, and the throw to first is just in time to retire Jason Oliver. But you're right, he has struggled at certain points this year and just really struggled to get out a couple of innings. Had an appearance against Troy where he was not able to record it out, and he gave up 5 earned runs. Landon Godsey leads things off for the Bruins here in the 4th. And you'll see 1 in the zone, 1 out to make it a 1-1 count.
Godsey just taking his time at the plate. Got to get used to the new arm and switching sides, so coming out of a different arm slot, got to get that vision right.
Indiana, if I'm not mistaken, has not started a game with a lefty yet this season, but in almost all of them, they come back with a lefty right after the righty. The first guy out of the bullpen is a lefty. That one's hit down the first base line, and that'll squirt all the way to the wall. Rounding first and heading to second is Godsey, picked up by Colopy, and he has to throw it back in to keep Godsey at second. A lead-off double for the Bruins. Holderfield got off to a really good start to the season with a couple of appearances in relief against Miami of Ohio and Baylor. First pitch now to Jones's eye. But he ran into trouble first time against Arizona on that Game 3 of the Frisco Classic. He gave up 6 earned runs and just an inning in a third. Breaking ball finds the zone again to Jones.
He's a little bit confused by that one. Shook his head at the call, but again, he's got to get used to that outside-inside movement from the lefty pitcher combined with the bigger strike zone today.
We'll talk about the first guy out of the bullpen for Indiana has been lefties very often, whether it's Holderfield, Bothwell, or Ryan Kraft. Slow grounder right back at Holderfield. He catches the runner off. They're going to focus on the lead runner. Caught in a rundown is Godsey, and Pine finally chases him down to grab the lead-off runner. But Jones will be into first safely. That'll go down as a fielder's choice, a very long fielder's choice.
Yeah.
That'll go something like 165, and then I think Pine was able to tag him out here.
I think we'll go with 165 because I don't want to write down more numbers than that in my little box here. I don't think I have room for that, but that's good. Often what happens when you get later in those rundowns is just communication falls apart. That didn't happen for Indiana. They were able to get that lead runner, which is really important.
So Jones does get into first, but now there's an out. 1 out, 1 on for the 7-hitter, Max Blessinger. His first time up was hit by a pitch, but then was caught stealing on a perfect throw from Brock Tibbitts behind the plate to make it an unconventional 1-2-3 inning in the second for Ethan Phillips in Indiana. Breaking ball cut on and missed by Blessinger. They got him to chase.
I think Holderfield's the reason he's struggled this season. Remember, he missed all of last year,
Yes.
so I think he's just getting back to the speed of the college game after rehabbing all of last year. A really solid freshman season, though.
Blessinger fouls one off his foot. Yeah, he's had an interesting career. He's pitched a lot his freshman year. It was another Indiana pitching staff 2 seasons ago that really struggled, and they needed a freshman like Holderfield to just step up and eat some innings, and he struggled to start the year. But it was really impressive to see his progression throughout the year, and Indiana fans were really excited about what he'd be in the future. And then he got hurt last year, did not pitch a single inning. And you sort of have to start things over this year when you're coming off an injury like that. Throws over to first. But all you're really looking for, if you're an Indiana fan and somebody who works with Holderfield, is just to see that same progression throughout the year that we saw freshman year. 1-2 count with a runner on and 1 out here in the top of the 4th. Runs outside to even it at 2.
And with a guy his frame, 6'3" lefty arm, that's a coveted build. If he wants to go pro in minor leagues later on down, get drafted, he's got another year of eligibility he's got another year to play before he's eligible for the draft.
Beautiful breaking ball that got Blessinger to swing up in the zone, and Holderfield bounces back a leadoff double. The performance against Vanderbilt gave up 2 runs in 2 innings, but he had 4 strikeouts out of the 6 outs he got. Diving play by Pine. Across the diamond, a strike, but dropped by Brencheski. Indiana was already running off the field. Holderfield doesn't know yet that Brencheski dropped it at first. And that is a tough thing to be told to go turn around and back to the mound.
Yeah. Oof.
But was Jones. He had to stay at second. So runners on first at second. 2 outs in the inning, and now you get to the 9-hitter, Pete Daniel. The first pitch is inside of him. Well, that's never good news when you think you're done with the inning and you have to come back out.
Yeah, he'll be trying to make this at-bat pretty quick, I think.
Luckily, it is the bottom of the lineup, but it would have been nice to start the next inning with the 9-hitter. Last ball catches a piece of the outside corner, 1-1. Daniel grounded out to second his first time up. Hitting just below the 200 threshold on the season. Belmont does not have a ton of guys, doesn't have a ton of rotation. There are only 10 guys who have gotten starts in the 9 positions the last couple of weeks.
Right. And that's they have a lot of outfielders on their roster. Such a deep hitting roster, considerably more than what Indiana has and what they've played this year. Belmont has a very, very large roster, and there's a lot of disparity in roster sizes in college baseball. Something interesting to see.
Yeah, it's also interesting to see the makeup of rosters. If
how
teams
you
go
allot
more
the slots,
pitchers
right.
or more hitters.
And Indiana elects to go with a lot of pitchers.
Yes. Indiana's another team. You don't see a ton of rotation down the stretch. Mercer likes to keep his same lineup. That's what we saw last year. It's 2 runners on, 2 out in the top of the 4th. And a breaking ball will run the count full.
Runners will be going here, and Daniel's got to make sure he has something within his range to swing at. He's got to keep this inning alive because Belmont has kind of got the momentum right now.
Holderfield would love to grab that momentum right back. Payoff. Up and out. That was actually a 2-2 count after the foul ball. So now we've run full. Runners were not going there.
Sun kind of glares on the scoreboard out there. It's a little bit tough to see.
The left field scoreboard is kind of out of question for us, and if we're going to be able to see that. Maybe a few numbers that we could see, but the glare is not helping things. Payoff now, runners go, and the pitch is low. So it is a 2-out walk to load the bases, and there is another one of the free bags given up to the bottom of the lineup. And now you flip it over, because out of all the teams that Indiana's played, this might be the most disparity between the top of the lineup and bottom of the lineup and how they've performed this year.
And you're not really going to see that when you head into Big Ten play. So this is now the time that you need to capitalize on it. You're not going to get this chance again.
Slaughter 0 for 2 today. He's got to pop up and a ground out. And it's going to run inside and hit him. So Holderfield will let a runner jog home on the RBI hit by pitch for Sam Slaughter.
Hey, it's an RBI regardless of how you put it, right? I mean, adds it to the numbers, and you still got to do some work to do it, get in front of the pitch, and it'll sting a little bit, but as the saying goes, they've got some ice.
RBI number 18 on the season for Slaughter, and the bases stay loaded with 2 outs. And before, we're going to get a mound meeting. Indiana pitching coach Dustin Glant will go over and talk things with Holderfield. You look there, right
in
on
the thigh.
hip. Yeah.
Yep.
It's a breaking ball, though. Better breaking ball than a fastball.
And that's a good spot to get hit, too.
Yeah.
Rather than in the rib or especially the arms. The extremities are never fun to get knocked in.
Best case scenario right there. Julian Tungini warms in the Indiana bullpen, another Indiana righty who we haven't seen in a couple of games, the Boston College transfer. You'd really want at least 1 inning out of Holderfield. Just 1 more out, that's what you're telling him. Really a strikeout pitcher. He had 4 against Vanderbilt and 6 total outs. That's the number 9 team in the country if you can do it against them.
Should be able to do it against anybody theoretically, but kind of struggling with in 2 out. That's the point where you would think a guy like Holderfield would really excel, but not today. He's kind of struggled. Be looking to get it back under track. And like you said, only 1 out. That's all he needs. So get the ball in play. Like you said, not a big strikeout guy, but you can see the pitching comparison.
Yeah, Indiana's pitching staff has struggled this year. ERA sits just south of 7.3. They've given up a total of 132 earned runs so far on the season. Bases still loaded. First pitch inside on Sam Slaughter. That's why you saw that 4-game losing streak. It was a large reason for it. They just broke it yesterday, but they lost Game 1 to Belmont, both midweeks against Vanderbilt and Illinois State after losing Game 3, the rubber match against Troy. Breaking ball outside again, and he has started Rando out 2-0. He was 1 for 2 today, singled back in the 3rd. Also grounded out to short his first time up. Finally finds the zone, and you could tell Rando was taking all the way.
No reason not to. At that point, you got to see if Holderfield's just going to let you on again.
He's reached once already with that single. Speed of the base paths with LaRue, Daniel, and Slaughter around the diamond for Belmont right now. 2-1. Laced down the right field line. Hit a pole and made a nice little metallic loud noise.
Yeah, that was
right near the Belmont bullpen.
Satisfying little
little
bell ringing noise, right?
Yeah, bell ringing, I guess, is the best way to.
Kind of reminds me of
comparison.
the bell tower here on IU's campus.
2-2 breaking ball runs high. It would make sense because this one rung at 2:11, and the one is supposed to ring on every 15 minutes, but it's way off.
It is about 4 minutes off, and they just don't really.
Yeah.
It gives it some character.
Runners take off. Ground to the left side. Going to be a tough play for Cerny. Picks it up and throws on to first, and will strand and leave the bases loaded. Belmont gets one back on an RBI hit by pitch. Holderfield gets out of it.
I'm not sure if he's gotten that memo, but he's had it on his head the entire game. And if he's looking to catch a foul ball, that's not how he's going to do it. Might keep his head warm. It's a little chilly. But might I suggest a beanie for that?
Well, if the ball's coming at his head, then it might add for some protection.
Yeah. He's got it on his hand now. Okay.
Rosiska back out for his 4th inning.
There it is. Oh, there. Okay. He's just fiddling.
He's confused right now, I think. I don't think he knows where he wants it. Rosiska starts off the Indiana leadoff man, Nick Mitchell, 3-0. Walked in both his first times up to the plate to lead things off for Indiana. Last time was a 4-pitch walk, and Rosiska is able to avoid the 4-pitch walk there on a fastball in the outer part of the zone.
He's moving so quickly.
Fastball drilled right at the first baseman. Heaton sort of lost it off his glove. Can't find it, and no one came to cover first. So Mitchell will reach on the awkward play over at first base from Brody Heaton. Did such a good job of keeping that in the infield. I mean, maybe saved a base there. But Rosiska did not come over to cover first base, and Heaton going to be frustrated with himself for not making that play.
He's just looking at his glove in disbelief, and he had that popped out of his glove and landed behind him in the shadows.
It'll go down as a single for Nick Mitchell. He's reached all 3 times today with a single and a couple of walks. Now Josh Pine up to the plate, who's 0 for 2 today. Ground out and a fly out. Now he's going to square around a bunt on the third base line. It's a good one. And a smart play by the third baseman, Landers, who's just going to let that roll foul. So it's just a strike, and now an 0-1 count. That one's hit hard right at the shortstop. Flip on a second in time, and to first, a 6-4-3 double play. So that play ends up being huge for Landers, and they're able to retire both Mitchell and Pine.
And this is really, really good. Awareness in the field, and first baseman in his spot that whole way, watching the play develop, ready to move around, but he's perfect throw from short to second, perfect throw from second to first, and they clear out the bases. Good job by Belmont.
Nobody on with 2 outs for Devin Taylor, who's 0 for 1 today, but he walked back in the second, so he has reached. A couple of fastballs outside to start him off 2-0. Didn't play yesterday for Indiana. He's usually in that 2 or 3 spot. He hit in that 2-hole the last couple of games. That one's drilled to the first base line, and that'll be a fair ball. He's going to round first all the way in the corner. Misplayed by Slaughter, and Taylor will have to hold up at second with a 2-out double. First base hit of the game.
Yeah, and Taylor, again, this first base line is the money ball zone for these hitters thus far. Get it down the first base line with some power, and Taylor often a pull hitter, and that is about as good of a pull hit as you can get.
And you never want to put a runner in scoring position for this man at the plate. Brock Tibbitts leads Indiana team in RBIs with 21. And he takes a fastball high for ball 1. 0 for 1 today with an RBI single in the first and an RBI walk in the second. Another one high in the zone, 2-0.
Yeah, he's not going to bite on any of these fastballs or off-speed pitches up in the zone unless it's where he can get the barrel to it.
That one does catch a piece. You don't see him strike out a lot, which was really why it was so surprising to see his start to the year. You know, everyone goes at slumps, but it's a little more strikeouts than characteristic for him. But he'll get a hitter's count here, 3-1, with another fastball high in the zone. With Devin Taylor in scoring position, another RBI situation, and another chance to add some insurance for the Indiana catcher.
Rosiska doesn't want to put anything in the middle of the zone.
3-1 fouled back, and we have run full.
That was in the middle of the zone, and Tibbitts barely swung underneath it. That is right in his wheelhouse to put this one over the wall, but I got to imagine he's going to go back to the well with a fastball here.
Does have 2 home runs of the season. One of them came yesterday, and he laces one foul right towards the Indiana dugout.
Well, with the changeup, got Tibbitts to go early on it.
2 home runs on the year, 2 triples, and 6 doubles. So
triples for a catcher, not often you see.
No. Total of 10 extra base hits for Tibbitts, that is. Skied high into foul territory. Godzi going back. It'll be right at the net, and he loses it. And actually, it went over the net, so didn't have a chance on it anyway. So Tibbitts stays alive with a runner on second and 2 outs.
Tibbitts is dangerously close, just matter of inches is where the ball hits the bat to put this one out. And Rosiska up to 86 pitches.
He was also close to hitting our guy with the glove on his head. It's back on his head right now behind home plate. Payoff is high. Brock Tibbitts reaches for the second straight time on a walk, and Indiana has 2 more on in this 4th inning.
And I still don't see any movement in Belmont's bullpen. You think they're going to let him get to the century mark? They very well might.
At this point, I don't see someone being ready in the next 14 pitches. I mean, it's possible, but it would be tough.
I think what they're hoping is that they get, or that he's able to get an out.
Cerny grounds one off, a slow roller to the third baseman. Throw over to second is in time, and that is exactly what they got. Mason Landers makes the play, and Belmont's able to strand a couple more Indiana runners. There's Mason Landers to lead things off against Grant Holderfield is back out for his second inning of work. The first pitch runs inside now on Landers. It's a Missouri Valley. It's tough. I think you have to go to the debate. Do you consider the Sun Belt a mid-major in the sport of baseball? They're certainly a top 6 conference, I think. One runs way outside.
Yeah, they've got some good teams.
We got Coastal Carolina
tough.
and
Right.
Troy are 2 teams that Indiana's seen already. You look at Louisiana Lafayette, Southern Miss. I mean, so many good teams in that conference.
That's why baseball is interesting. You don't have to be a big Power 5 school to have a really solid program.
2-0 fouled off. And I know a lot of it's being from the South, too.
Right.
You get that just the opportunity to play and practice outside all year round, even in the winter. Landers 1 for 2 today. Made that nice play just an inning ago at third base. Had a hard line out into left. That was that nice play that Taylor made his last time up. Nice breaking ball. Runs a little bit inside now on Landers. Holderfield thought that was a strike.
Our friend with the glove down there is practicing his catcher framing.
That one's drilled into left. Devin Taylor all the way at the warning track. And all he could do is watch that drill the scoreboard. A solo shot for Mason Landers. And we've got a 1-run ball game here at Bart Kaufman Field. 4-3 as Landers leaves the yard for his 5th home run on the season. Just hit off the scoreboard. You got to hear it off the bat, too, how loud the crack was.
I'd wager it came off the bat a little bit harder than it came in.
Home run number 3 on the weekend for Mason Landers. He's had a couple coming into today. Now here's Brody Heaton, hitting .271 on the season, 0 for 2 today, with a clean slate in the top of the 5th. Nobody out, nobody on, but he's down 0-2.
And he's a big power guy, too. 6 home runs for him on the year, so Holderfield's got to have that in his mind, a big power threat in righty versus lefty matchup. This is where Heaton often thrives.
0-2, hit to the left side. Taylor's coming over, and he will make the play. A nice hard line out, but Taylor once again played it well.
And that's, it's got the bat on the ball, got good contact, but just hit it right to where the defense was. That happens a lot of times. And getting that good of contact on an 0-2 pitch is that's an at-bat you can work on. That's not too bad.
And Jeff Mercer steps onto the field and gives the signal to the bullpen. So that is the day with 1 out and nobody on.
Yeah, 2 for 2 on the day, and this is a good challenge for Tungini to face first.
Fastball runs high. Tungini had a spectacular season at Boston College last year. Played an ACC schedule, an ACC that's so tough and so many good opponents, so many NCAA regional teams. A breaking ball hit right at Tyler Cerny, and a short leap to make the play for out number 2.
Good play. Needed to leap a little bit and add a little bit of flair to it, but that's a pretty easy play for Cerny to make. It wasn't a terribly hard hit ball, and he's able to put that one in the glove without too much struggle.
Good read on it off the bat. And it's funny, a lot of these Indiana guys shave their heads, just kind of a rally thing. I think you'll see that with a lot of guys. Tyler Cerny, though, I think his hair's a little too valuable to shave. And
Yeah,
he's still got that.
He's not going to shave.
He's still rocking the locks. First pitch to Max Jones, fastball high.
Now, is that a position group thing, or do they just all do it?
No, some pitchers, some hitters did it. Brock Tibbitts, you'll see, did it. Ethan Phillips, you saw, had a shaved head, who started this game. Another breaking ball inside now on Jones. That one at 91 miles an hour. So an even count on the Belmont designated hitter. 0 for 2 today. Right into a fielder's choice his last time up. This one hit to the left side. Cerny on one knee. Gets up and he'll toss it to first in time for out number 3.
And they need it with this is a good time to do it with a tired Brzezinski and almost up to 90 pitches. He's 2 away from that mark. This is a time to get the runs if they're going to get them at any time.
We'll get 6, 7, and 8 to start this 5th inning, with Carter Matheson leading things off with a ball outside and now a foul ball back into the stands to start off 1-1. Matheson yet to put a ball in play today. He's 0 for 1 with a walk and a strikeout.
He struck out looking in that second inning and stranded a couple.
Fastball outside again, so he's got a hitter's count to start things off. Did have a couple of base hits yesterday against Belmont with an RBI as well. Fastball low, 5-pitch walk to lead things off for Carter Matheson. There is some action in the Belmont bullpen. Looks like a lefty warming up. Indiana already on their 3rd pitcher of the day. Now Morgan Colopy squares around to bunt to start things off. Pulls it back. Pitch was high. Colopy 0 for 2 today with a strikeout and flied out his last time up in the 3rd inning. He hits one into center, sends LaRoe up, and that'll drop in front of him. Down base hit. Rounding second and heading to 3rd is Matheson. He's in there safely. And Indiana's got something going here in the bottom of the 5th. Runners on the corners after the single from Morgan Colopy. Here's Brencheski with runners on the corners and nobody out of the first pitch inside. Borders continues to warm for Belmont. And it gets more and more curious how longer they're going to keep Rosiska out there. Breaking ball, bottom half of the zone, but right at the knees for strike 1 to Brencheski. He's 1 for 2 today. They changed where he reached on an air. They changed it to a single. So he has a single and a ground out. Fastball catches a piece on the outer corner from Rosiska. What was that tough play at short where they lost it in the sun? That's how he reached. Also came around to score on a walk, and he hits one high in the air again, this time an infield grass, and it will be the shortstop, Daniel, making the play, not losing it in the sun this time. A big first out that keeps the runners put, and 1 out. And he's going to square around to bunts and put it down and foul it back. We've seen a good amount of sac flies for Indiana on this young 2024 season. They lead the Big Ten with 15 sac flies. Fastball up at the hands of Oliver. It's an even 1-1 count.
You don't want to feed this guy too much, because anything that gets in the outfielder is going to score Matheson if it's on the ground, and possibly even if it's in the air on a pop out.
Rosiska offers high on a couple of pitches to make it 2-1. He is 0 for 2 with a couple of groundouts, both to 3rd. Pulling it down the 3rd base line. Infield's in, and the 2-2 is in the zone for strike 2. Only 1 RBI on the season for Oliver. It came yesterday on an RBI walk. Fastball hit it back up the middle. That'll get through for a base hit. Coming around to score is Matheson, and Morgan Colopy heading to 3rd. And Indiana adds some insurance on an RBI single for Jason Oliver. How about the freshman?
That's huge. I mean, like you said, insurance run, and now Rosiska up to 103 pitches, not bringing in the reliever yet, but that is a huge point in this game to stretch this lead to 2 for Indiana.
And right as you say that, they will make a change. A point goes to the Belmont bullpen, and that's going to be all we see for Joe Rosiska, the big 6'7" left-hander, and inherits a couple of runners on 1st and 3rd with only 1 out. And he will see Nick Mitchell to start things off. Another sacrifice situation for Nick Mitchell and Indiana, with a runner standing 90 feet away, only 1 out. They got an extra run of insurance on the RBI single from Jason Oliver. Mitchell check swing. He takes it, but it catches a piece of the outside corner.
His good eye thus far, and you mentioned a couple of times that widened strike zone.
This time runs a little bit outside. Borders has struggled to start this season. He had a really good couple of seasons in the last 2 years, but 3 appearances so far coming into this one. He has an ERA of just north of 57.
He's going to want to, I think, drop that down a little bit.
But I mean, it doesn't help. His first appearance of the year gave up 7 runs, 6 of them earned against Eastern Michigan. 0-2 record. He's lost his team a couple of games, just 2 1/3 innings in those 3 games he's pitched. Just a third against South Carolina, gave up 6 earned there. Most recent one inning against Kennesaw State where he gave up 3 earned. And he walks Nick Mitchell, the first batter he faces, to load the bases with only one out for Josh Pine. And just kind of being a team player. And Indiana's a good team at especially getting the ball to the outfield. There's so much power on this team. The first pitch to Pine is outside for ball 1.
Yeah, whether it's home runs or just extra base hits or even singles like we saw that one off the wall earlier in the game. And they're able to get the ball out there.
Nice play by the catcher, Tyler Godsey, keeping it in front of him from the big left-hander Borders. But it's 2-0 count on Pine. They lead the Big Ten in home runs. They lead it in sacrifice flies. Another one in the dirt, and Pine has started off 3-0.
Borders struggling with command early, just not able to put the ball in the zone thus far, struggling low, high, outside, pretty much everywhere but front and center.
When he can control his command, it's a tough arm slot for hitters to read. 6'7", and it's coming from a lefty.
It's got a lot of elbow snap as well.
But it's a 4-pitch walk, and Indiana will add another run. Josh Pine works the walk this time. And Indiana runners go station to station with Devin Taylor coming to the plate. 2 runs now at the bottom of the 5th. 6-3 Hoosiers lead. But now he's got Oliver at third, Mitchell at second, and a Pine at first. First pitch way inside Taylor. The late dodge to get out of the way. A little jog too. And a smile, everything's okay there.
He was doing the limbo there. It's all the way back.
Athletic play to get out of the way. I know I would probably be in the trainer's room right now if that were me.
Yeah, I need a chiropractor.
Godsey has to do some work to keep that in front again, and now 6 straight balls, at least, thrown by Borders to lead off Taylor with a 2-0 count. 14 RBIs on the year for Taylor. Prime opportunity to add some more. Fastball drilled to the first base line, past the glove of the first baseman, Heaton. Oliver comes around to score. Mitchell 2, and the wave around is on for Josh Pine. A 3-run bases clearing double for the sophomore Devin Taylor, his second double of the day. It'll close the book on Rosiska as the first pitch is in the zone now to Brock Tibbitts. Rosiska goes 4 third innings, 7 earned runs on 7 hits, 2 strikeouts, 7 walks as well. A lot of 7s in that stat line, but it is not lucky for Rosiska today.
No, not today, no.
Tibbitts with a man on second and 1 out. He's 1 for 1 with a walk, a couple of walks. He's reached 3 times today. One of the walks brought home a run. So he has 2 RBIs on the day. That one bounces into the zone, and Godsey's really getting his work done behind the plate.
Props to him for keeping the ball in front of him. That's often tough to do, especially when you're halfway through a game and now you've got a new pitcher who just hasn't found his footing just yet on this mound, but he's throwing them everywhere.
I think the turf helps too.
Yep,
the bounces are more consistent.
Exactly. Yeah, it's playing on dirt. The surface in front of you is not flat, so you cannot predict it, and it's not like when you're practicing. But definitely out with the turf field that's here at Kaufman Field, helpful for the catchers.
Well, Tibbitts fouls one off and evens the count at 2-2. Still only an out in this bottom of the 5th. Fouled off to the right side, up and out of play. RBIs number 15, 16, and 17 on the season for Devin Taylor.
What a number.
He is right behind Cerny and Tibbitts, who are top 2 for this Indiana team in RBIs. Breaking ball, hit hard into center, but medium depth. And LaRue is able to grab it, keep in front of it, and Taylor wants to tag up to third. He will, so he moves 90 feet away. Squared around a bunt to maybe catch Borders off guard and pulls it back for ball 1. One of the few Indiana players, him, Devin Taylor, and Brock Tibbitts, all hitting above 350 on the year. And it's a shorter sample size. This is game number 20 on the year. That one bounces away from Godsey. Taylor wants to try to score, and he will.
Doesn't even need to slide.
Indiana gets run number 10. Taylor coming around to score after the double, and he shows off some speed there. And the bases are finally empty now for Borders.
And that's why you got to stay awake on the base paths. And see that ball go past, and he's able to score. That'll be a wild pitch.
It takes away some of the fun for Tyler Cerny, though.
It does.
2-0 runs low. I think he'll be okay either way.
I'm sure he's still having a good day today.
Yeah.
He's got 2 RBIs and a double on the day. So I don't think he's not having a good time out there.
3-0, get me over fastball in the zone for strike 1, 2.
That's what he needed.
The sophomore shortstop. Yeah, just a struggle with command, and then one of the first few strikes that he's thrown was just drilled by one of the conference's best players. And Cerny loops one out into left that'll fall in front of the left fielder Blessinger. He will think about 2, but will stay at first to keep the inning alive with a single. Indiana's batted around. Carter Matheson, who led things off with a walk, will come back to the plate. 7 appearances, 6.6 ERA. Matheson squares around a bunt. It's in the zone for strike 1. Once you take a look at this year, he's had a lot of appearances, kind of shorter appearances, the majority of them being 2 innings or less, and his ERA is at 1.8. So he's one of the best options Belmont has out of the bullpen. But Matheson skies one into center. LaRue goes back and then goes to his right to make the play for out number 3. So Doobie comes in and gets a much-needed out, but Indiana adds 6 runs of insurance. Led off by Max Blessinger. 10-3 lead for the Hoosiers. They got 6 runs of insurance in the bottom of the 5th.
Blessinger only a 164 hitter, and he's sitting down in the bottom end of this lineup. Has struggled a little bit from the plate, but 9 RBIs, so not too bad.
Fastball drilled, though, but just foul in conference play. Fastball eye level to Blessinger to put him ahead of the count 2-1. The senior from La Crescenta, California. That's a fun one. 2-1 gets him to chase at an outside breaking ball. Tongini does. Tongini has often been kind of handcuffed to Grant Holderfield. They like to use those two a lot together. One righty, one lefty. They've both been using a lot of Sundays. And the pitch is swung on and missed, but it's past Tibbitts all the way to the net. Through to first is not in time.
That was a closer play.
So he will reach on a drop third strike. One of the rare drop third strikes we see. Another free base in a sorts given to Blessinger. But here's Michael LaRue with nobody out and a runner on. He's behind a fastball there for strike 1. Take a look at it again. I think even with LaRue beating it out, or rather Blessinger beating it, I think he didn't realize it at first. So
yeah,
that's why the play was close at first base. 0-1 fastball inner part of the zone for strike 1. Strike 2, rather. But LaRue is not having the best season either. He's hitting 136.
No, just they're putting them down in the bottom of the lineup. We talked about the disparity earlier, and
ground to the left side. Cerny dives, but can't make the play. So both the 7 and 8 hitters, both hitting under 200, reach to start things off in this top of the 6th.
That is a confidence helper for sure. I mean,
1 out in the inning, has completed a full inning. He came in with 1 out in the 5th. One's fouled back by Daniel. Talked about these two being handcuffed, him and Holderfield, a lot of times. Tongini also did not perform great against Arizona. He threw just a third of an inning, and he gave up 4 earned runs. It was that middle few innings that Tongini and Holderfield both threw where Arizona opened things up. But Tongini's been able to bounce back. 3 1/3 of no runs against Northern Kentucky, and 1 inning on Friday against these Belmont Bruins of 1 hit, no run baseball. 1-1 count now on Daniel with nobody out. Fastball high puts Daniel ahead.
Good eye from Daniel to try to extend and throw Tongini off his rhythm, which he's got a lot of right now. He's humming out there.
Breaking ball, beautiful pitch from Tongini. He finds the outside corner and he Likes that breaking ball a lot. Not as much of a fastball pitcher as a lot of guys on this Indiana team.
No, he utilizes it to really solid effect and able to place it. That's often what you like from a breaking ball guy who uses it a lot. You got to be able to place it.
Tangini, keep an eye at second. Now comes home the 2-2. Fouled right into the Belmont bullpen. Almost took someone's head off.
Yeah, that was
stretched over in the Belmont bullpen.
That ball was moving as well. I gotta keep your head on a swivel out there.
Absolutely.
For fear of being clocked in the head by an errant baseball.
2-2, ground to the left side. Picked up by Cerny. Has to throw across a diamond late, and it's high. The throw is not on the money, and Belmont will load the bases with nobody out.
Well, it all started with the drop third strike by earned by Blessinger. He reached base. Now he's all the way over on third.
Breaking ball in there for strike one. They're going to give that an error, though. I would have thought that it wasn't a great throw, but I don't know if it would have got him in time, I guess.
I think it would have.
Okay. Another slow grounder to the same spot. This time Pine can't pick it up. And a run will come around to score. Blessinger touches home, station to station. Somewhat stay in this game. First pitch bounces into the chest of Tibbitts. Now to the two-hitter Jack Rando. Take a look at it again. That one just past the glove.
Pine, yep, just off the tip of the glove, and that's a tough play anyway. He's got to go over to first. He can't pivot the body and get the out at home.
Check swing, another pitch in the dirt. First base umpire says he didn't go. That's Matt Nieder over there at first. But he's able to start off Rando 2-0.
Got to get it back under control with bases juiced again.
Fastball this time just runs inside, and Tangini is falling behind. So we go drop third strike, single on a slow grounder to the left side in the gap. Error, and then infield single on a play right to Josh Pine in this inning. And that's why Belmont has one run across in the inning. 3-0, get me over fastball. Right in the top half of the zone. Rando is taken all the way. 3-1, finds the zone again. So we've run full and a huge payoff coming from Julian Tangini.
This is important. I got to imagine he's going to go with the breaking ball on the inside part of the plate.
Payoff, fouled off to the right side, out of play. The run will be unearned. That last run that came in because of the runner getting over on the air the previous play. So you now look at it. Belmont has scored 4 runs. Only one of them has been earned. That's the struggles of this Indiana defense. 4 errors today. Fastball outside, this one. Another run comes across on a bases-loaded walk. Julian Tangini will have his... But here's the oh-so-dangerous Mason Landers with the bases loaded and nobody outs. First pitch inside to him. Landers is 2 for 3 today. He homered back in the 5th to lead off that 5th inning. He also has a single in the first. Came around to score. Breaking ball outside part of the zone for strike 1. And he's 2 for 3. The one out, though, was also a hard hit out right at Devin Taylor, who had to make a sliding catch. So the direction of the game could very well be determined here. Landers fouls one back into the net, and Tangini's got him down to 2 strikes. Landers hitting .316 on the season now. Does not have a base hit yet with the bases loaded, but he is hitting .348 with runners in scoring position, .324 with runners on. Breaking ball, hit to the left side. Could be 2. Cerny picks it up, flips to Oliver, throw to first in time for a double play. And Indiana will gladly, in this situation, trade the run that Belmont gets across for the 2 outs. Runner on third now, 2 outs. More breathing room for Tangini with Brody Heaton coming to the plate. First pitch down low to Heaton. Now, if Belmont wanted a chance to come back into this game, they were down 7 coming into this inning. They really needed to capitalize there. But they've done their work, and 4 is definitely not out of reach. Heaton's way out in front of a breaking ball for strike 1. He's 0 for 3 today, but he has reached on an error, and one of his outs was a hard hit out at Taylor, again, like Landers. Breaking ball, top half of the zone for strike 2. Heaton doesn't like it.
Yeah, but that top inside corner is just a perfect place to get that breaking ball because you can't read it until it's at you, and there's no time to get the barrel to it.
Now Tungini's a strike away from getting out of it. The 1-2 count runs outside, evens it at 2. Got to keep in mind, though, I think one of the encouraging things if you're an Indiana fan is your offense hasn't really slowed down much in the last couple of innings. And you're starting to get deep into the Belmont bullpen. 2-2, hit up the middle. That'll get through for a base hit. And an RBI single. Belmont keeps the inning going, adds one more run. Brody Heaton brings home Sam Slaughter, and Belmont cuts the deficit to just 3.
Wow, I mean, blink of an eye almost against Troy and others. The bullpen pitching has just really struggled so far this year.
Now here's Landon Godsey, who has had a spectacular day. He's 2 for 3 with a couple of doubles and a line out. He has 1 RBI, the first run of the game for Belmont. Fastball top above the letters of Godsey, and he's ahead 2-0.
Tungini with almost 40 pitches now today.
Somebody is warming up a little bit, at least stretching in the Indiana bullpen right now. Fastball up in the zone for strike 1.
If I had my binoculars, I might be able to see it, but
well, he
don't
has a
have
jacket
those
on right now, so
right.
we couldn't even see the number.
Yeah, good point.
There is a lot of action in the Belmont bullpen right now, though. 1-2 fastball. He was behind it, cut on and missed. Tungini's got him down to a 2-strike count again with 2 outs and a runner on first. 3-run lead for Indiana. Belmont has scratched 4 across in this top of the 6th inning, though. They have made things interesting. 2-2 fastball hit into the outfield. That's going to drop for another base hit. They keep it rolling. This time it's landed Godsey with his 3rd base hit of the day. Heaton moves up to 2nd. Now 2 on with 2 outs.
Infielders have really struggled with him.
Here's Max Jones. First pitch down low for ball 1. Tunji a little frustrated with his breaking ball. You could see him slam his glove there. But Jones today is not. Still searching for his first base hit. A couple of ground outs and a fielder's choice. Fastball hit high into the air. Medium depth. Carter Matheson calling everybody off at center. And he makes the play for out number 3.
Today, to an extent as well, he's 1 for 3 on the day, but still has time to turn it around.
Bill Doobie back out on the mound. He relieved Borders in that bottom of the 5th inning. Now it's the bottom of the 6th, and he'll start off against Morgan Colopy. Starts off with 1 in the zone and 1 out. Start on 1-1. Colopy had a single back in the 5th inning that started off that inning after a walk. And Indiana came around to score 6 in it. He's ahead here to lead things off 2-1. Breaking ball outside, a hitter's count for Colopy.
And this is where he's at his best. He's got pretty much Doobie at his beck and call. What he wants to do, he can adapt.
3-1, nailed on the right field line. It is a foul ball, just right of the pull. Hits off almost that corner of the wall. But it's just foul. It's a long strike.
It's a hard hit ball, too. And we've seen Indiana hitters, and to an extent Belmont hitters, but definitely Indiana more, hitting down that right field line, especially the lefties. Devin Taylor's done it a couple of times, and now Kyle will be trying to replicate that for an opening base hit.
Yeah, he did it the other way, too, though. He's a righty, and the payoff is outside anyway. So he will reach on a leadoff walk from Bill Doobie.
And control is just the struggle of the day for Belmont. I mean, pitching control, they had Rosiska go over 100 pitches, and it's just quite the day.
Well, the day is done for Joey Brancheski. Now a pinch hitter in his spot. It is the freshman Andrew Wiggins. Will step into the left-handed batter's box with a runner on first and nobody out. in this bottom of the 6th inning. Wiggins has seen almost exclusively pinch hit appearances this season. He does have a couple of starts. He had his first home run in an Indiana uniform a couple of weeks ago in the midweek against Northern Kentucky. First pitch, fastball just inside.
Really talented player coming out of high school. Second in Indiana, second prospect in Indiana, second ranked, behind, I don't know, somebody named Max Clark.
I think that sounds familiar. Grounded through the left side. Going to be a tough running play. A throw on a second by Daniels in time to get Colopy. What a play over at shortstop.
That was a really close play, and I thought they initially were going to call him safe, but that was not enough hustle. But we'll see here. This is a athletic play and a half by the shortstop, Daniel. Wow, what a snag.
And I think that was the right call. So that'll go down as a fielder's choice. I almost thought for sure that was a base hit. But he was able to get there in time and get the throw over. Here's Oliver, first pitch swinging high into the air over to center. Sends LaRue back a couple steps now to his left, and he makes the easy play. 2 quick outs by Doobie after the leadoff walk to Colopy.
So now it brings up the leadoff hitter, Mitchell, and who's only had 1 technical at-bat on the day. He's walked 3 times. That's been the story of the day as well.
That one at-bat, though, was a single that kept the 4th inning going. He actually came around to score on that one. He scored a couple of times today. First pitch, breaking ball outside to him. A few times, rather. He has scored on all 3 of his walks. Not on a single, though.
No, he got stopped by the Josh Pine GIDP. Grounded a double play in the 4th.
1-0 breaking ball, bottom half of the zone 4, strike 1. Yeah, Mitchell, you talked about how great he was at Western Illinois. He was an All-Summit League first-team member a season ago.
Yep.
Hit over 350 on the year. It's really that contact guy. He's going to get on base. 1-1 runs inside, gets past Godzi, and Wiggins lets him get up to second. And that's a big one. It puts a man in scoring position. Indiana would love any insurance they can get. We saw at the top of the 6th that Belmont is not finished scoring runs. At least doesn't if they had a say.
Another wild pitch for this Belmont pitching staff. Wiggins now in scoring position, as you said. He's got good speed.
Breaking ball runs low now to Mitchell. So he's a ball away from his 4th walk of the game. It's a 3-1 count.
I think he just wants to take a swing. I mean, you got to be bored of getting all these walks, am I right? I mean,
yeah, I don't think he'll mind getting on base, though.
He won't.
That's kind of the card. That's
exactly
what you ask for out of your leadoff hitter. And it just catches a piece. Thought that might have done it. But instead, it's a payoff coming with a 3-2 count.
It's a big moment here for Doobie.
Out of the stretch, the payoff. Hit hard into right, at the right fielder. Slaughter just catches it in front of the warning track. And that was hit right at Slaughter. He didn't have to move much. If he would have, that would have been down. You'll see 7, 8, 9 in the Belmont lineup with Max Blessinger leading things off. First pitch is grounded to the left side, picked up by Tyler Cerny. Throw to first is in time for out number 1. Defensive changes for Indiana. Andrew Wiggins pinch hit for Joey Brancheski. They are both out, with Brock Tibbitts moving from catcher to first base, and Jake Stadler takes over behind the dish. He is the new catcher for Indiana.
Stadler, the transfer from Purdue, is split in time, like you said, with Tibbitts behind the plate. And Tibbitts, his original position from last year at first base. He's definitely comfortable there. He'll shift over. And
yeah, they have the shift on for Michael LaRue, the lefty, with an out and nobody on. LaRue reached on a single, or actually that was the one that was ruled an error his last time up. He's in front of a breaking ball to go down 0-2. See if Decker Petty can transfer or adjust a little better to the bottom of the lineup than Tungini did. Fastball, bottom part of the zone for ball 1. Had a great appearance against Troy. He threw only a third of an inning against Purdue Fort Wayne. In the second midweek of the season, he gave up 1 earned there before 1 inning of scoreless baseball against Duke to start the season. Those are the only 3 appearances of the season for Decker Petty.
He throws some gas on the
Yes.
mound. 94 on that one. And it's the fastest pitches we've seen all day from either squad.
A lot of sophomores have really high velocity fastballs. It's just one of the things about the recruiting class for Indiana a season ago. And he gets a breaking ball here and get LaRue to swing through it for strike 3. So 2 quick outs for Aiden Decker Petty. Belmont and Sam Kirkpatrick, his first at-bat of the day. Squares around to bunt, try to bunt for a base hit with the infield back. It goes foul for strike 1. Kirkpatrick, just the 1 base hit on the season through 16 at-bats. He's had a slow start to the year.
Only 16 at-bats, though, so he's not seeing a ton of time. Hasn't gotten many starts, if any, but good piece off the bench.
0-1, ground to the left side. Cerny had a slide. He gets up and throws it to first for out number 3. An efficient 1-2-3 inning for Aiden Decker Petty, and Indiana is 6 outs away. Pine coming off that RBI walk in the 5th inning. He also came around to score on it. First pitch, fastball, he's behind it. Does not have a base hit yet today, though, as outs in all fashions. A ground out, a fly out, grounded into a double play in the 4th inning. Fastball fouled off to the right side. He's down early 0-2 here.
You know how there's the golden sombrero when you strike out 4 times in a game? There's got to be a name for that when you get out as many times as possible. Like you said, all the 4 different ways you can record an out.
Oh, like kind of like a reverse cycle or something like that, like a fly out.
That's a good
fly
yeah.
out, pop up, ground out.
The anti-cycle.
Strikeout. The anti-cycle, sure. Pine still hasn't struck out, though, and he hasn't really popped up. He has a couple of, or just one that I would classify as a fly out. Breaking ball hits into left. That will send Blessinger coming up, and he can't dive and make the play. Pine will go up to second, and he'll be in with a nice little bloop double. His first base hit of the day. And that leads things off here at the bottom of the 7th, and a dangerous part in the lineup for Indiana with Taylor and Tibbitts coming up.
And that's a good, really, really important piece of hitting by Pine to get Taylor and, to extension, Tibbitts, if Taylor can't drive him in, some hitters or some runners to work with, at least one runner to work with on the base paths.
I like the effort from Blessinger, but I saw the slide. I don't think he was really close to it, too. Devin Taylor was swinging for the fences on that one, the fastball up.
If he caught a hold of that, that could have been longer than Tibbitts' home run yesterday.
I only see this a lot from Taylor. He hit one. Hardest home run of the year last year for Indiana against Ohio. He pops one sky high here. Kind of misread by LaRue. Now he comes up to make the play. Pine thought about tagging. Will stay at second, but it's the first out of the inning. A fly out to center for Devin Taylor. And 1 out in the inning. He's reached 3 times on a single and a couple of walks. Flied out his last time up. Does have 2 RBIs today, and he pops one sky high, but this time in foul territory. Godzi going over, and it makes the play in what would be dirt, but it's just different colored turf here in Bloomington before we get to the backstop. But 2 quick outs after the Josh Pine bloop double.
And this is a really impressive job. Godzi was a little bit confused. He has to track to the left there and is able to catch it right in the webbing, and that's a tough play to make. So props to him for getting that out.
Shows off the locks too. You know, the catcher.
There
You got the helm. You got the catcher's mask that
don't often get to see
it. Yeah, you don't get to see the hair as much, but he's going to take off the mask any chance he gets.
I mean, I would too if I had that hair.
Here's Cerny to the plate with a runner on second. 2 outs now in the inning. Cerny has a single, a double, and a hit by pitch today. He has had a spectacular day. He has a couple of RBIs. Fastball runs in. A couple of RBIs puts him at second on this Indiana team with a total of 19 runs batted in on the year. Hitting .365 as well. Another fastball and starts him off 2-0.
This, thus far, I mean, still another out to go, and you're down 2-0 if you're the pitcher, Bill Doobie, but this is a good, efficient ending thus far.
Breaking ball. Cerny did not offer, and he did this last inning too. He started with a leadoff walk to Morgan Colopy, but then worked around it. Now a leadoff double, and he's 1 out away from working around this one. Indiana does have a 3-run lead, though, 10-7 at the bottom of the 7th. Fastball jammed to Cerny into foul territory. A couple guys giving a chase. Godsey again, but he won't get close to it. It hits off the bottom part of the net. And it puts Cerny down to a 2-strike count, though.
He's got some things to work with, though. He's gotten good intel on what Doobie wants to do. Can alternate between his fastball and his breaking ball is often what he's been doing here. It'll be interesting to see what he goes with. Will he go back to the well with the fastball? We'll find out.
Working out of the stretch, a strike away from getting out of the 7th. Fastball fouled off again.
Narrowly got the bat on that one. That was very, very close, but had to get the hands around quickly. That contact wasn't going to lead to much and fouled it off.
And Zach Weatherford, the Indiana first base coach, barely got out of that one, out of the way of that one. And that was at his feet in the first base coach's box. Try the 2-2 again. Fastball drilled into left. Blessinger going over at the wall near the bullpen. It's gone! 2-run shot for Tyler Cerny. His 3rd on the season, his 3rd and 4th RBIs today, and it gives Indiana some more cushion.
One finally gets over that left field wall. They're able to break into the box, the safe of that left field wall. I mean, that is a very, very nice piece of hitting. Pull hitter, drove it out there. He had one off of the wall earlier in the game. 2 RBI double in the 2nd inning, is finally able to put one over that left field wall for a 2-run home run.
He tied the game early yesterday with a 3-run home run against Belmont. It is his 2nd home run of the series. And just in the last 2 games, he has 7 RBIs. Matheson fouls one off with 2 outs and nobody on. Indiana now up 5, 12-7. They struggled offensively on Friday. They have jumped all over Belmont these last 2 days. 15 runs yesterday, 12 today, and counting. With a breaking ball on the inner corner of the zone now to Matheson. Matheson thought about swinging at the high fastball, but does not offer. So Cerny now with 3 home runs on the season. That puts him at 13 home runs in his career, and Matheson is down on strikes. Not shying away.
No, they're really hanging with him, and I think that's a testament to how well they're able to stay in games. I think that's really going to help them against teams like Vanderbilt and Alabama.
Well, the Belmont leadoff man, Sam Slaughter, is first pitch swinging, first pitch popping up to Tyler Cerny for out number 1. Defensive substitution for Indiana. Carter Matheson's day is done after striking out. Sam Murrison replaces him in center field. Was a part of that, as Jeff Mercer liked to call it last year, the hands team. We always put Murrison and Colopy into the game in the last couple of innings.
Well, errors have been a problem thus far, so I understand why he's done that today. Fastball
runs inside. That is true. Matheson does not have an error yet today. He had that play that hit off his glove, but it was a diving catch that would have been a spectacular play anyway that you couldn't really expect him to make.
Right.
2-0. Rando thought about offering, but he started off with 3 balls. 1 out, nobody on. There is Murrison over in center. Really only comes in for defensive purposes for this Indiana team. 3-1's high, 4-pitch walk to Jack Rando, the 3rd time he's reached today. But Belmont needed a little more in that inning to keep Indiana close. First pitch down low to Landers. 2 for 4, had the home run back in the 5th inning. Came into this game inning 301. He's got that up to 312. If Belmont's going to have success in the Missouri Valley Conference play, they're going to need Landers to stay hot. The senior from Shelbyville, Tennessee, was an all Missouri Valley Conference 2nd team selection a season ago. He's the only Belmont player to start all 59 games. Throw over to first again. Batting average was 277, so not as high as it is now, but it was still the team best. And he did have 12 home runs.
Pretty productive year from the plate, I would say.
Absolutely. 1-0 count after the throw over to first. Now comes home, and a grounder foul to the left field line. Missouri Valley Conference it's a tough baseball conference. You look at, still technically considered like a mid-major, but we've had some tough teams with Indiana State. Missouri State's a really good baseball program. Illinois State's had success. That one popped sky high down the right field side, and Morgan Callipy will collect with ease for out number 2. They also had, for baseball, Dallas Baptist, who has moved on to Conference USA, but they were a longtime member of the Missouri Valley Conference. Another really good baseball program. Southern Illinois is good in a lot of sports as well. Evansville has a solid baseball team this year, too.
They do. Indiana will face them at some point this year, I believe.
About a month away. It's that, I believe it's the midweek in between the Penn State and the Minnesota series.
That sounds right.
Mid-April.
Maybe later in the year when both teams have more things figured out.
Right. Decker Petty throw on over to first to try and keep Rando in check. Rando does have 2 stolen bases on the season. Somebody up and warming in the Indiana bullpen. Not with much urgency, though. Decker Petty is 4 outs away from getting out of this thing himself. And that's what you'd love to see from some younger guys. One of the biggest emphasis that Mercer has talked about is just finding more arms to be able to throw on weekends.
That's been the struggle, these long weekend series. And
Rando takes off. It's jammed off the bat. Stadler sprinting to make the play right in front of the net for out number 3. Drops it, but they say he caught it and handled it first.
Indiana, they don't face either of the preseason top 2 teams in the Big Ten in Iowa, or the top 3 teams. They were the top 2 team, or the second team in the Big Ten. Maryland came in 3rd in the preseason polls, but they won't face Maryland until later, and they don't face Iowa at all this year. So this Illinois series is going to be crucial for them to cement their spot at the top of the Big Ten rankings early in the conference season.
Callipy fouled one off to start off this bottom of the 8th, 7, 8, 9 of the Indiana lineup. Interested to see what they do with the 8 spot with Andrew Wiggins pinch hitting.
Well, it looks like
back to the net.
Stadler came in.
Right.
So
it wouldn't surprise me.
Can Wiggins come back and pitch again, or pinch hit again?
No.
I don't believe so.
There's no. Once you get to, I know there's that weird like courtesy hitters and runners in high school, but in college,
that's what I thought.
It's MLB rules.
Once
you're out of the game. You're out of the game.
Yeah. So Stadler is in the warm-up circle, or the on-deck circle rather, which are newly painted this year. They just painted those in, add a little bit of touch to the field here.
It's getting some playing time. Try to keep Belmont within striking distance as we go to the 9th.
He's been really good this year with runners on, only allowing a 118 batting average for hitters with runners on the bases.
He has struggled overall with a 9.45 ERA,
Yep.
making his 6th appearance. A lot of that, though, 1 inning against Kennesaw State gave up 6 earned. Stadler squares around a bunt. It's popped up into foul territory, and Landers gave it chase, but he had no chance at it. So it's an even 1-1 count now for the Indiana catcher, Jake Stadler.
Stadler lefty on righty matchup here with Callipy at the plate, or at the on first base. And you wonder if he might want to stretch it to second. Probably not late in this game. Indiana's trying to salt it away.
Stadler showed bunt, pulled it back, and he puts him ahead of the count. 263 average. He is in about half of the starting lineups we've seen this year, so it's not a crazy substitution for Indiana by any means. Lays down a bunt again. It's a good one. Slow. Landers picks it up. He'll throw to first to retire Stadler, but he gets the job done. Callipy up to second with 1 out. Fastball right down the middle of the zone for strike one. Hernandez ERA now sits at 9 after the first out in this inning.
He's going to aim to get out of this inning quickly and would have liked to have the double play available to him, but won't have it after the bunt.
Nice looping breaking ball, but it just lands high over the zone to Oliver. 214, got that batting average up today after the one base hit. He's got an even 1-1 count here. Another on the movement on the breaking ball, but it runs outside to Oliver. Hernandez has really struggled with walks. 15 walks to just 6 strikeouts, and you saw that tough appearance against Kennesaw State. He threw 5, gave up 5 walks in that inning. Fastball low from Hernandez. He's got Oliver ahead 3-1. So you look at his 5 appearances so far. 3 walks against Eastern Michigan, 3 against South Carolina, 5 against Kennesaw State, 2 against UAB, and 2 yesterday against these Indiana Hoosiers.
And walks, especially today, has been a big thing for Belmont's pitching staff that they haven't been able to get under control.
Well, he finds the zone there, just on the outside corner, and runs the count full to Oliver with a runner on first, or a runner in scoring position, and 1 out. 3-2. Down low, Godzi has worked to stay in front of it, but it's ball 4, so they keep Colopy at second. 5-run lead for Indiana. Runners on first and second, 1 out in the inning, and the top of the lineup up in Nick Mitchell. Take a look at some other scores around the Big Ten right now. Michigan leads San Diego. Rutgers having a great start to the season, up 14-3 on Delaware. Purdue trails by 5 to Samford. Michigan State deadlocked at 5 with Evansville. As Mitchell takes a breaking ball inside again. Ohio State has brought the bats out in West Virginia. They lead the West Virginia Mountaineers 17-4.
Wow.
Illinois trailing by 6 to Southern Indiana. That's one team in the Big Ten that has struggled to start the year, and that's who Indiana will see first. Another fastball outside to Mitchell starts him off 3-0. Maryland leads 2-0 against Portland, and those are all the games we have in action. Minnesota had a win in 10 innings, extra inning win over Elon at 9-7 earlier today. Another team that's off to a rough start. 3-0, fastball, get me over, and Mitchell was taken all the way.
No reason not to at this point. See if you draw a third walk of this inning.
Colopy walked. Stather bunted him over. Oliver walked as well, so that's where we're at. 2 on, 1 out. Make it 3 on, 1 out with a 5-pitch walk to Nick Mitchell. And Belmont will try him out with the runner on first, or 1 out, and the bases loaded. And a tough spot of the Indiana lineup with Josh Pine coming to the plate.
Yeah, and this is the danger spot. And Pine off of a double last inning.
Fastball outside in the dirt. I think they say he swung.
They did say swung. I'm not sure, but Pine definitely disagrees.
Yeah, I don't know if he was more just trying to get out of the way and it was kind of like a unintentional bat going down like that. I don't know. But he's down 0-2 with the bases loaded. Breaking ball low. That's the first ball that Pine will see. Breaking ball sits at 75 miles an hour, so not as much velocity from Allen. But we'll see how well he can place it. 1-2, laced, but fouled on the third base line.
Pine's not happy that he was so early on that, because that would have drove in 1 or 2 runs.
Maybe 3 if
Maybe
it got all the way to the
3
corner.
if it got all the way to the corner. It was moving too, so definitely a possibility there.
Still a 1-2 count. Pine had a double his last time up. Fastball pops one into foul territory, sends Heaton to the Belmont dugout, but it'll get above the Belmont dugout in the stands. Count will stay at 1-2 after a couple of foul balls. And Belmont has trouble getting the ball back to Ty Allen at the mound.
They'll finally get it back to him.
It just takes some time. They were still under time after the foul balls.
Exactly.
No harm, no foul.
Nope.
Pine's hitting .325 on the season, but he's behind a fastball. And that is the first strikeout of the young career for Ty Allen.
How about this for a second overall hitter faced?
Well, it gets away from Godzi, and now Colopy will storm home and add another run of insurance. Indiana with a 6-run lead, 13-7. With Oliver moving to third, Mitchell up to second. Still 2 in scoring position now for Taylor.
See what they rule it.
Well, the 1-0 is a fastball in the dirt to make it 2-0 now on Taylor. He has 3 RBIs today. He has 2 doubles. He's reached 3 times, and he had a walk to it.
They'll say that was a wild pitch for anybody scoring at home.
That's big for Taylor to get some confidence up. He was in somewhat of a slump, but got that batting average back to 385. Now it's 17 RBIs on the year. Still 4 home runs. A couple of them came in that Baylor series the second weekend of the year. 2-0 fastball runs outside, and another 3-0 count from Ty Allen.
He's just trying to give his team the best shot. They got to score 6 runs to tie with 3 outs.
And the 3-0 green light, and he check swinged it on a ball that was out of the zone. Would have been ball 4 from Taylor, and he's frustrated himself. Slams the bat as he steps back into the box. Ty Allen got a gift there. 3-1 outside. Doesn't matter. It's ball 4. Bases are loaded again. Well, he takes a first pitch fastball right down the middle of the zone for strike 1.
86 is not bad on the miles an hour for Ty Allen out there.
It has not been Belmont's pitching staff's day. 14 batters walked. That is a lot. Foul down the left field line. And especially in 7 2/3 innings so far, that's almost 2 batters an inning.
Yeah.
They've walked. That happens on Sundays, especially when you're playing a really good offense like Indiana. Tibbitts down 0-2 here with 2 outs. Breaking ball down. Godsey does a good job staying in front.
Godsey's seen, I don't even know how many pitches he's had to block or really just receive. He had a lot of time back there behind the plate today.
Right. Breaking ball hit to the left field. That'll be down for a base hit. Jason Oliver comes around to score. The wave around is on for Nick Mitchell. 2 more RBIs for Brock Tibbitts. A 2 RBI single to add on the Indiana lead.
That homer.
It's 3 for 4. First pitch, breaking ball in the outside corner. With a single, a double, home run. He's a triple shy of the cycle right now. He has 4 RBIs on the day. One bounces in the dirt again. Second straight game for Indiana where they have scored 15 runs. They got a 15-10 win yesterday and are up 15-7 here in the bottom of the 8th. 1-1, grounded hard but foul.
Based on how many balls have been put either in play or foul down the line, and they've had some zip to them, a cycle's not out of the question. I'm thinking a little bit hopeful here. 1-2 count. Cerny just wants to get on base, but it's always possible.
It's a possibility, and if there's anyone in Indiana who can do it, Cerny's one of them. The combination of speed and power in his game sets up for making it possible. Breaking ball outside to Cerny, evens the count at 2-2. Comes home, hit into center. LaRue kind of had a misread on it. He had a slide to make the catch for out number 3. Yeah, he threw on Tuesday against Vanderbilt. A clean inning against the number 9 team of the country. He had 1 walk, but that was the only base runner he let on. And a Ty Allen who pitched will now, or rather Ty Allen was still up on the board, I was going to say. Landon Godsey steps into the batter's box. 5-6-7 is who Vogel will see. Got Godsey to jam it back into the stands and go down 0-2. Actually, Caden Gallison, I was going to say, it didn't look like Godsey, the catcher, so we will see some pitch hitters for Belmont. And the first ball of the AB from Vogel now to Gallison is high. Batting only 125 on the season. He's got a couple of base hits. Just 2. Vogel offers low again. ERA for Vogel is dead at 0. He has not given up a run. Just a third of an inning against Miami. Came out to get the final out there. 1 inning against Alabama and 1 against Vanderbilt. So pretty good competition of the guys he's faced.
Yeah,
Ball from Gallison.
Facing good teams and not giving up a run is honestly impressive. Those are some solid teams. And again, like you said, only pitched 2.1 innings, 2 innings in and out. But been good so far.
So Gallison's at the plate. We'll also see Cade Rogers, another pinch hitter, on deck for Belmont. Check swing, fastball, but it was in the zone. Jacob Vogel rings him up. His first strikeout of the game. And strikeout number 2 of the career for Jacob Vogel as Rogers comes to the plate.
So Indiana 2 outs away, and this is
Pinch hitter number 34, Cade Rogers.
Indiana fell to 500 after the first loss of the series to Belmont, the first time they were at 500 since going 1-1 after losing to Duke and then beating Coastal Carolina in the first 2 games of the season. We had a 4-game losing streak yesterday, snapped it. Now they can get a mini winning streak with Indiana State coming up on Tuesday in Big Ten play. 4 big games, the next 4 for Indiana.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, that Indiana State game is, I think, the biggest of them all to give them momentum heading into conference play.
Breaking ball, low into the dirt for ball 2 there. I saw Indiana State is playing Xavier this weekend in Cincinnati for a 3-game set. Xavier lost the first. Indiana State won the first 2. And Xavier was up 4-2 in the 4th last time I checked. This ball up in the hands of Rogers. It does look like Xavier clinched the win today. So it was a 2 out of 3 series win for Indiana State. And Indiana trying to also have a 2 out of 3 series win against Belmont here. That one's fouled back by Rogers. They're 2 outs away, but a full count here.
You score 33. Excuse me.
Another one in the bottom half of the zone. Vogel painting corners right now, and it gets Cade Rogers to strike out looking. That's 2 straight backwards Ks, and just 1 out away.
That's a low pitch and a really good frame by Stadler. I think that's what got him the out.
Good movement on the pitch, too.
Like I was saying, not often you score 33 runs in a 3-game series and only manage to win 2 games. You don't see that a lot.
Well, that happens. Jeff Clark is the final pinch hitter for Belmont. He is the last thing standing in between Indiana getting the series win. Of the first pitch is in the zone for strike 1. Only hitting 167 on the season. He does have 2 RBIs, though. This ball runs outside to even it at 1. This is not quite a save situation for Vogel with an 8-run lead.
I would not say so, no.
But he has pitched a lot in the back half of games. All 3 of his appearances have come in back half of games. Pass ball outside for ball 2 puts Clark ahead. He's another 6'7" guy for Indiana. They got a couple of big dudes in Jack Moffitt and in Jacob Vogel.
Their biggest dude is out for the year, though, in Luke Sinnard.
3-1 count now to Clark. Fastball swung on and missed, and we have a payoff coming with Indiana and Jacob Vogel a strike away. Indiana has out-hit Belmont today just 12-9, and they've committed 4 errors, but have been able to bounce back and get an 8-run lead. This one hits sharp into left field. That'll bounce for a base hit in front of Devin Taylor. And Clark has just his 3rd base hit of the season. He gets up to first. And it looks like another pinch hitter for Belmont. He's going to be Heath Owen.
Good opposite field piece of hitting by Jeff Clark there. Really, that's the fundamentals that you like to see.
The sophomore Owen stepping to the plate with a runner on first and 2 outs in this top of the 9th. Sophomore from Marietta, Georgia, played his high school ball at Pope High School. First pitch swinging, skies it in foul territory, sends Colopy over to the wall. He runs out of room. It is a long strike 1.
Well, that's the hole that they're, excuse me, that's the hill that the kids were rolling down earlier. That's had to get them out of the way and make sure they're paying attention out there, not having too much fun.
Good awareness from the kids getting out of the way. Owen just trying to extend this game, and at this point with a lot of the pinch hitters, it's just getting some of those guys who don't get as much playing time some at bats, and that one's going to hit the back of Owen. That one ran way inside by Vogel. That one's going to hurt. But he's able to jog it off, not seeming like it hurts. Now 2 runners on for Belmont.
Yeah, it just came off the hand wrong.
Oh, not a fastball. I thought it was a fastball out of the hand, just a breaking ball.
It looked like it didn't spin right. It almost looked like it had like a knuckleball. It didn't spin.
Yeah,
there was not a lot of rotation.
Right as he threw it, he kind of looked at his hand. It came out of the hand wrong.
Yeah.
Stadler giving him some words of encouragement. Still 2 outs in this top of the 9th. And Sam Kirkpatrick, who was originally the pinch hitter in this spot, will come back out for another at-bat. He came in to pinch run earlier in the game. He grounded out to short his last time up. First pitch down low.
He was the first substitution of this game, I believe.
Yep. Belmont has a couple of tough midweeks coming up with Vanderbilt on Tuesday. Not a far trip for them, just in Nashville, Tennessee. Both of those in Nashville, Tennessee. And Alabama the next midweek before a 3-game set with Illinois, Chicago next weekend. Vogel's behind 2-0 here. Swung on and fouled off down the right field line in the stands and out of play near the parking lot.
And that'll be the start of conference play for them as well, as UIC is a Missouri Valley Conference opponent.
A new one, that is. We've had a lot of conference realignment. It doesn't just hit the big conferences like the Big Ten and the Big 12.
Everybody shifts around.
2-1 runs just a bit outside of Kirkpatrick, so he's got the hitter's count now.
Batting average under 100 on the year. Really struggling from the plate is Kirkpatrick.
That was off to the right side, and we once again, with 2 outs in this 9th inning, we have a full count pitch coming up from Vogel. Both Clark and Owen were able to keep these innings alive with a single and then a hit by pitch. Trying to extend this game. Payoff. Outside corner, caught it, strike 3. And Jacob Vogel gets 3 strikeouts in this top of the 9th to close things out. The series belongs to Indiana over the Belmont Bruins with a 15-7 win today. And they piggyback off 30 total runs in just the last 2 games.